Last video, I talked about rappers ruining great instrumentals, so I decided in this one, I want to spread some love and talk about some things in hip hop that I really like. That's right, it's the sequel to my rap albums with no skips video, baby. Numero dos, do, ithnan. That's the only languages I know the number 2 in that I can think of right now. Last time I covered 4 albums, and this time I'm adding in an extra one to make it 5. Any guesses for what they are? Pause the video right now and drop a comment down below and we'll see if you get any of them right. If you're feeling extra nice, drop a like too, it really helps me every time you guys do that. As stated in the last video, these aren't necessarily my favourite albums of all time, like just because it's a no skip album doesn't mean it's absolutely perfect, but these are just albums where every track is pretty good or better, to the point that when I'm listening to the album, I don't need to skip any tracks to enjoy it more. Ready to go? Let's get it. This is CDTVProductions. Shout out to all of my Patreon supporters who got to see this very video early and some extra exclusive Patreon only content I have on there. You can check that out if you want to. And let's get right into this video. So guys, I finally did it. I finally listened to Brockhampton properly for the very first time this year in January. I know I'm very late to the party, but I am enjoying the experience with their music so much right now, so I don't even care that I'm late to it. Some of you are going to be very happy that I did it, and clearly I liked what I heard, but some of you will probably be mad that I didn't react to any of it. RIP CDTV the G. Hopefully you awaken from your slumber and rise back up again when something big drops that you have the opportunity to react to. At this point, I've listened to every single album that Brockhampton has out so far, and that includes the Saturation trilogy, and the first one had a few great moments, but didn't really sell me on the music of Brock or the music of Hampton. I'm sorry, Brockhampton stands probably hate that stupid overused joke, I couldn't help myself. But the second one? That is my favourite in the trilogy, and that was the one that finally had me rocking with Brockhampton. Oh my god, this is good. There's so many highlights, I don't even know where to start. JUNKY, where everyone was rapping their asses off over this eerie ass beat, perfection. JELLO, which is catchy to the level that it's almost annoying because the hook plays in my head every 5 seconds for a full day after listening to it once. Amazing. The random Merlin Wood lines that just get stuck in my head because of his standout energetic delivery. First off, fuck Dolce & Gabbana. Don't call me stupid, that ain't the way my name pronounced. Don't call me Cupid, I got too many hoes right now. I swear every single week a different Merlin line is stuck in my head. He's so good at making things sound catchy. His verses are so damn memorable, man. All the barefaced contributions have the power to impregnate me. Joba gave some really smooth vocal contributions, although his best work with the group would come on later projects in my opinion, and every member in general just kills it. Much like Wu-Tang with 36 Chambers from the first rap albums with no skips video, Brockhampton benefits hugely from being a group with multiple talented members. If, for whatever reason, one of the members' contributions on a song isn't really clicking with me, then I know at least there's gonna be 1 or 2 other great performances on the song that really make it worth listening to for me. And it's rare that there even is a verse or chorus that I don't like on any of these songs. Everyone was in top form on this album. The only thing I would ever maybe consider skipping on this album are the scenes, which are the skits of the album, but they're not musical tracks, so that doesn't really count. And if I'm listening to the album the whole way through, I'll just let them play anyway. An excellent album from start to finish.
Okay, my bitch bad like battle rappers that make albums with no outcome. Extra middleman, no Malcolm.
What's that I hear you say? CDTV, what about the original version of Unlocked? That's a beautiful little album with no skips too, but I am here to push the Unlocked 1.5 agenda. To me, this is a worthy remix album to the original Unlocked, and to be honest, I don't know which one I enjoy more. 2 remixes of my favourite song from the original project? Yes, please. The Charlie Heat version is the greatest thing to come from this project. I love that rising bass line during the hook that acts as the transition into the second beat on the track in such utterly butterly smooth fashion. And that second beat is just such a beautiful mix with Denzel's pitched rapping.
After dark, the riot starts way uglier than Bubba Sparks. I'm trying to raise the chart so I don't have to push a shopping cart. When I'm placed up, then I know I'm on the call. I'm a
In the Game 666 produced GODMODE version is a drum and bass remix of the song, which was unexpected to say the least. But I think it sounds great, and it's cool to see some variety like that on this album. Diet 1.5 with Benny the Butcher, don't mind if I do. That beats the original for me. Something about that switch from Benny's almost casual, self-assured sounding rapping into Denzel's really aggressive, growling hook just makes the great vocal control on Denzel's chorus stand out even more.
GUMMY, the ones who they call when they get rusty.
Money from a show, then deposit it. Yo, shows got no hoes.
Just the way it switches into it, it sounds so amazing. The laid back remix of Pyro is just as good as the original for me. It's just a bit of a different vibe, and those few tracks that I've just mentioned are only the main highlights for me. The closest thing to a skip here, honestly, is the Versace reworking of Layup, because I swear every beat I've heard from him is pretty predictable and composed in the exact same way pretty much, but it's still pretty smooth, and I think it fits with the slightly more reverby mixing of Denzel's vocals. Closer to a skip than the rest, but not a skip. Also, am I the only one that thinks Logic would really fit in as a feature on So Incredible? That sounds like an incredible true story beat right there that he would glide over.
Carry City, what I breathe. Dissect the flow so you can see what I bleed. Put it all together and it forms the one thing.
And Denzel said the line about Logic on Diet wasn't a diss, so hey, if Logic ever fully comes out of retirement officially and there's an unlocked 1.75, let's hear him on this So Incredible beat. With the addition of features, new producers, and even a different overall vibe to the OG Unlocked, with this one being like the chill, laid-back cousin of Unlocked from outer space, it makes it stand on its own from that album, and as a result, it means I can switch between them, depending on whether I'm in the mood for something more gritty or something more smooth. You already had a great framework with brilliant, charismatic verses from Denzel on the first one, and the features and the producers really came through on the second one. Amazing stuff. Honestly, this whole segment was kind of advocating for both the Unlocked twins. Just count them both for this segment. They both have no skips anyway. Shout out to Kenny Beats and Denzel Curry for putting these perfect little packages of songs together.
But a trapper turned rapper can morph in a puff. Dance contest for the smokers. I predict.
Unlocked isn't the only perfect little package of songs on this list, because here we have the 7-track long Daytona by Pusha T. When you're putting out a 7-track album, you want to make sure every single song packs a punch in some way. And of course, that is what Pusha did on this album that was executively produced by Kanye West, with co-production on a few tracks by producers like the incredible Mike Dean and popular producer Pierre Barn, who I have mixed feelings on overall, but the instrumental he co-produced here sounds brilliant. We'll get to Pusha's rapping in a bit, but the second that you click play on any of these songs, you can just tell that the instrumentals are some prime cut shit right from the start.
Drug dealer Benzes with gold diggers in them.
That's one of my favorite ones, the games we play. Smooth.
Just touchdown. I'm so grateful. Number so low. Bitch be
Santeria, bro? Why has it become a regular segment in my videos to play clips of songs to you through the microphone from my phone when I could just like place them into the video like I usually do? I don't know. I just like doing this now. I don't know if people would disagree with this or not, but I think this is the best 7-track long Kanye produced album that dropped in 2018 from a production standpoint and an overall quality standpoint. I won't repeat my Kids See Ghosts opinion here because I know that if I do, I'll be eaten alive for it in the comments. I will confess, this is the only Pusha T album that I've listened to in full so far, so even if he's rapped a whole lot about coke throughout his career, it's still super fresh to me on Daytona. Look, I know some people are going to leave comments about that, but just because I run a rap channel doesn't mean I've heard everything. I'm only 22 years old and I should have plenty of time left to hear more music. His delivery is just excellent. Pusha T is a rapper that makes his words hit your ear just right with his intense and focused delivery, and the same can be said for his lyricism. He just oozes confidence on the mic. If an album with a mere 7 tracks makes it to the top 3 of my best albums list for the year it came out, like Daytona did, then you can bet that there is 0 skips on that thing.
True runner bitch, make the name stick, not for sale, but I'm taking payment.
If you're ever going for a run or lifting weights and you have to pick one album to listen to while you do it, do yourself a favor and pick this one. This is like a performance-enhancing drug in musical form. I'm not exaggerating when I say this album does not once let the energy drop. Even the deeper tracks with more emotionally powerful lyrics have beats that double slap you right across the face. And LP and Killer Mike do a stellar job of matching that intensity with their vocals at all times. I swear they were both in peak form on here. I love them both, but Mike in particular had me absolutely glued to his verses throughout the album. The first 4 tracks on this album in particular just do not give you a second to cool down. Oh My Darling Don't Cry right next to Blockbuster Night Part 1, just listening to those two back to back makes me sweat from the intensity. The way the sample is chopped into the beat on Oh My Darling Don't Cry, plus the part where the production just explodes out, is beautiful, and the building sound Blockbuster Night has is so hard.
Waiting to die, waiting to die, waiting to die.
Oh my.
AT Onion and Montana Back.
Can't believe wrong, I'm savage. Show up in your class, what's happening? 2-yard bullet with a fully automatic. Heart full of pain and a head full of habit.
Or maybe sanctifying the sadistic is deranged.
This run the juices. Murder, mayhem, melodic music.
It's pretty easy to explain why this is a no-skip album for me. It's simply constant, consistent high-quality music throughout the entire album. And with it only being 11 tracks long, it really means each track gets its own chance to shine, and it makes sure that the music doesn't completely exhaust you with its hard-hitting sound by the time that the album comes to a close, because I don't feel like you could make a 20-track long Run the Jewels album without it being completely exhausting by the end, because of how hard-hitting their sound is. 11 tracks? That's just right. It is just the perfect length for this type of music. And finally, let's talk about the rather large Goldfish album. When you take the sound of your album in a more experimental direction, it can be a risk, but if you nail the sound and that risk pays off, it's highly likely that it's going to result in something I would consider to be a no-skip album. As you can tell, such is the case with Big Fish Theory by Vince Staples. This to me is the best Vince Staples album out there at the moment, because this style of production that he's only ever fully utilised on this one album is the perfect match for his blunt, nihilistic lyricism and tone of voice. As far as I'm concerned, there is not a single other album where the instrumentals have enhanced how Vince's rapping comes across as much as Big Fish Theory. It's to the point that no other album by him hits as hard for me. This was his style perfected right here. FM was great too, don't get me wrong, but Big Fish is the standout. Don't believe me? Just listen to something like Yeah Right, a track that makes me lose my damn mind like I'm Big Quinn.
Boy, yeah right, yeah right, yeah right. Boy, yeah right. Boy, yeah right, yeah right. Is you cut nice? Is you good, man? Fuck on that.
That song is disgustingly, brutally, unforgivingly hard. There's a random switch to something that sounds like it's straight out of an old school dance song in the middle of the track, but it somehow works, which then transitions into a mind-blowing Kendrick Lamar verse. It's incredible.
Right, yeah, right. Boy, yeah.
Got an enemy that changes the babies.
Pop till it's vacant, pop till it wrist pop, pop till he's shaking. K-Dot twilight, the zeitgeist, bro like fried rice and pimp power strip, temporary pimp, nah, I don't remember them.
Or how about Love Can Be and Bag Back? Tell me you can listen to those without bopping your head and tapping your feet. You are lying, bro. Talking about it has me energized like I'm listening to it. Party People and Homage make me want to jump right into the middle of a raging mosh pit, and mosh pits scare me, man.
Go stupid, don't think too much, you're gonna lose it. Just lose yourself in the music.
I am not exaggerating how much the style on this album goes off for me. I cannot get enough of it. The fast-paced drums on most tracks mixed with the strong bassy sounds and sharp industrial elements is just excellent. And the way it's composed gives it this really cold and almost hollow sound that perfectly matches the often dark topics that Vince fills his verses with. And hollow sounds like a negative way to describe production, but I really don't mean it in a bad way here. It provides to the way that this album sounds perfectly. I don't care what anyone else thinks about this album, I will praise it to death forever. It might be a bit weird and unconventional for some people to get into it, and that's fine, I completely understand that, but I think it's a stellar album and honestly somewhat underappreciated for how unique and great it is. I'm not even the biggest Vince Staples fan, to be honest, but I think he struck gold with this album and the sound that he decided to go for with it. Well guys, that is going to be it for the video today, so thank you so much all for watching, and I look forward to reading your comments and seeing if any of you guys guessed accurately what albums I was going to talk about in this video. I would really appreciate you, as always, leaving a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribing if you haven't done so already, and want to see more videos similar to this one. I've been making a little bit of a comeback lately, so if you're an older viewer on my channel and you don't know, I've been dropping quite a lot of videos recently, so I'd really appreciate you also checking those out if you haven't seen them. Nothing but bangers from CDTV. Once again, we're back on that 2018-2019 CDTV vibe. And yeah, I'm just really excited about making more videos, so that's all my patrons on screen right there. Big shout out to all of them for supporting me, and of course a special shout out to my biggest supporters as always on there: Cyrus Formadoni, Caleb Peoples, Reagan Burt, I Am Region, and Tyson. Thank you so much for all of the support, it really means the world to me. Thank you to everyone that stuck around with my channel for this long, even if I've been known to be very inconsistent with my videos and taking a long time to make videos that I say I'm going to make. I really plan on working on them, but I appreciate all of you guys that have stuck with me throughout it all, because this is what I love to do, and I really feel like I'm starting to get better at it again. Because there was a point where I was doubting my content, but I really feel like I'm getting to a place where I really enjoy how it turns out again. I really like making it. And yeah, it just feels really good, so I wanted to share that with you guys, not to get too personal at the end of this video or anything, but that's how I'm feeling. So that's all I've got to say for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one, and this is your happy boy CDTV Productions, signing out.